Hello, and welcome to Week 1, Unit 5 of Application Development for SAP Business by Design. In this unit, we'll be discussing types of solutions, what they are, and how we can use each of them. Now, first of all, what is a solution? A solution is really the package of development for the SAP Cloud Application Studio. It'll have the collection of different development objects or artifacts that you will build and create and maintain. And then we can use these to move this content to other tenants, whether it be a test or production, etc. Now there's three types of solution templates or solutions that we'll talk about. First one is a solution template. Second is a customer-specific solution. And third is a patch solution. Solution template. A solution template contains development objects that will be there for reuse, meaning we can apply them to other solutions. The development of a solution template would continue through different upgrades. So if you have a solution template, you can continue to maintain it through each release. And this content then can continue to be updated and deployed over and over again. This means that if I have a customer-specific solution, I would take a solution template, I would apply it to that customer-specific solution, and then I could continue to maintain the template and keep applying it to the solution to keep the content updated in that customer-specific solution. One restriction around solution templates is they cannot contain items that require what we call admin mode. This is things that consider analytics, forms, a few other items, which we'll see when they come up. So this is something that I can develop on either my partner development tenant, on a customer's test tenant, and I can apply it to any customer's specific solution. So I can reuse something, ideally something that I think I might use often or want to use more than once. I would put it in a solution template. And then we'll need to further use it in a customer-specific solution. Now, what is a customer-specific solution? This is the main type of solution that we'll work with in the Cloud Application Studio. A customer-specific solution is exactly that. It's a solution that's only for one particular customer. That means if I develop something for customer A, I cannot take that same customer-specific solution and deploy it to customer B's tenant. This type of reuse of a customer-specific solution is not allowed. If I have that type of scenario, I would want to use a solution template, in which case I would develop as much as I possibly can in that template, and then I could apply it to customer A's tenant as well as to customer B's tenant. So a customer-specific solution, it can contain any kind of content, including anything that requires admin mode, and then I can apply that to a customer's production tenant or to other test tenants. One thing about these solutions is that we can only develop either in a partner development tenant or a customer's test tenant. I will not be able to create new solutions in a customer's production tenant. We'll see a little bit more about that when we get to life cycle. But for now, we'll use a customer-specific solution in our test tenants. The third type of solution is a patch solution. Now, this still relates to a customer-specific solution, but a patch solution is after we've initially deployed the customer-specific solution, how do we maintain it going forward? A patch solution will be created off of any specific customer specific solution, and then we would then make our changes and updates within this patch solution, which further will go on to be deployed to production tenants or other test tenants wherever the original customer specific solution existed. In Lifecycle, we're going to go deep into what a patch solution really is, what all it can contain, and the development within there. You'll see that development within a patch solution is restricted by what we call maintenance mode, and that we will cover in the very last unit of the course. So these are our three different types of solutions: a patch solution, customer-specific solution, and a solution template. Now let's go ahead and go into the studio and we'll create our own customer-specific solution. That way we'll be ready to start development. So you can see here I'm logged into the SAP Cloud Application Studio. In the left-hand part is the My Solutions screen. These are all the solutions that exist on this tenant. You can currently see that on my tenant right now, there are no solutions. Let's go ahead and create one new solution here. I'm going to use this button at the top of the My Solutions part that says Create Solution. And it gives me a screen here for some details for me to enter. What's the solution type? You can see there's customer specific solution and solution template. For now, we're going to stick with customer specific solution. I can see what the customer is. Now it's grayed out because this is considered a customer test tenant. If I had a partner development tenant, I could develop solutions for any number of customers. And I would have to say which customers I want to maintain, or which customer am I building the solution for. And here we don't have that. It's just a specific customer tenant. So we can continue on. I would give it some type of description. Let's go ahead and say openSAP demo. And then a deployment unit. You see there's a large list of deployment units. We're going to go ahead and select customer relationship management for now. We'll come back to what a deployment unit is in the next unit. For now, assume CRM. And then I have some final details, basically who's responsible for the solution. So now we can see that I'm responsible. Here's my company. Here's my email address. So that way, if anybody wants to know anything, they can always come contact me regarding this solution. Let's go ahead and say OK. And now this is going to generate the solution for me. So this solution is created by me and my user, but it's relevant and visible to all other developers within this tenant. So that means if I have a colleague of mine that logs into the studio with their user, they would also see this solution. They would be able to see any solutions that are created there, just like I can. There's no content that's developer specific. So that means that any developer can log into the studio, and then they can go and maintain content with any solution. There's no restrictions there. If I have any kind of such restriction, I need to maintain it and manage it myself with that other person or other people. Now you can see that my solution is created. We have openSAP demo. The name of the solution that I gave it, you'll see there's this technical name, YOTWMM8Y. This is the ID of my solution, so to speak. You'll see this Y ID in a lot of different places going forward. And then on the right, you see in the Solution Explorer that it has the name as well there. It says that it's in development, meaning I'm currently available to develop items and content within the solution, and what content the solution currently has. Right now it's empty, so we don't have anything, but we will start maintaining it going forward. So now we have a solution to start building content in. And we're going to carry this forward within our next units. So that ends the content for this unit. Again, we had three types of solutions. A solution template, where we can maintain content that can be reused across any other customer-specific solution. We have customer-specific solutions, which is the main type of solution that we will always work with, at least as a beginning point. These customer-specific solutions are relevant only to one specific customer. And then we have patch solutions. The patch solution is how we maintain a customer-specific solution after the initial development. One other thing that I want to mention about solutions in the studio is that every customer-specific solution that we use is specific only to itself and exclusive with its content. That means that if I have more than one solution in a tenant, I have solution A and solution B, the content of the two don't know each other, that they exist. They cannot talk to each other. So if I have a business object in solution A, I won't be able to directly use that business object in solution B. There's a segregation between each solution that's there. This is a really important point when it comes to developing. You'll even see in the help content, it's recommended that you try to keep to one solution per customer. This is just a recommendation. It's not a requirement. It's not a rule. Really, the reasoning is just that any content, again, that's built in one solution cannot be reused in another solution. So this is something to keep in mind when you're building your solutions, when you're developing new content. It doesn't mean that you can't have more than one solution. You very well may have different projects that will have no relevance to each other in the future, in which case there's no reason not to use different solutions. Really, the decision is up to you and what you plan to do with this solution and the future of that solution. With that ends this unit. Next week, we will go into what a business object is and actually start developing content in our solution. So thank you. Goodbye.